Yes, Dr. B.
Good morning to all. I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you to today's enlightening webinar. I am Dr. Pradeep Golani, the co-convener of this event, and it fills me with immense pleasure to witness such a diverse and engaged audience gathered virtually. Your presence here not only enriches our discussion, but also underscores our collective commitment to advancing knowledge in our field. I am genuinely excited about the prospect of delving into the insightful and collaborative conversation as we embark on this intellectual journey together. By consistently delivering captivating webinars, SPSR has solidified its position as a premier platform for knowledge exchange and professional development in the pharmaceutical sciences. I'm confident that today's webinar will continue this tradition, offering attendees invaluable insights from our esteemed speaker. Let us take this opportunity to engage and contribute to the advancement of our field. Welcome once again, and I anticipate a rewarding webinar experience for all. Thank you for joining us today. Today is a significant milestone as we gather for the 54th SPSR webinar on India, a booming market with changing patent trends. This event is a part of a distinguished series hosted by the Society of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research under the esteemed mentorship of Dr. Shashi Alok, National President of SPSR. Under his guidance, the SPSR continues to play a pivotal role in advancing knowledge and innovation in the field of pharmaceutical sciences. The SPSR is dedicated to advancing the pharmacy profession through a multifaceted approach. Our objectives encompass the organization of conferences to campaign the causes of pharmacy, contributing to programs and services that address the health needs of India and focus on disease prevention. Additionally, we actively recognize and honor distinguished pharmacists who contribute significantly to the encouragement of the pharmacy profession. The core of our mission is the promotion and facilitation of the acquisition, dissemination, and exchange of pharmacy knowledge, ensuring a robust flow of information about the practice of pharmacy and pharmaceutical services. Through these objectives, we aim to elevate the standards and impact of pharmacy profession, fostering a dynamic and collaborative environment. We are truly honored to welcome esteemed speaker, Mrs. Divya Dubey, patent attorney, Deepening Company, intellectual property law firm, New Delhi, India. Mrs. Divya Dubey brings invaluable expertise to our event, and we eagerly anticipate gaining insights from her wealth of knowledge in the field. Her presence enriches our discussions and adds significant value to our exploration of the latest advancement in patent trends. We are grateful for her participation and look forward to a truly enlightening session. In our esteemed gathering, we are honored to have the distinguished presence of Mrs. Monika Sabharwal, the convener of this webinar, National Secretary, Society of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research, and Managing Editor of IJPSR and IJP. Her multifaceted contributions and leadership in these capacities underscores her commitment to advancing the field of pharmaceutical sciences and research. We are privileged to have Mrs. Monika Sabharwal with us today, guiding our webinar with her expertise and dedication. Without further delay, I have the distinct pleasure of inviting Mrs. Monika Sabharwal to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker guest, Mrs. Divya Dubey. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Pradeep Golani. Hello, everyone. I am Monika Sabharwal. First, I would like to congratulate to the Team India and the fans for winning the World Cup. This incredible achievement is a testament to your hard work and dedication and unwavering spirit. Each player has shown exceptional talent and resilience, making the nation proud. I also want to extend heartfelt thanks to all the fans and viewers who have supported and cheered for the team throughout the tournament. Your support has been a source of inspiration and strength for our players. Together, we have celebrated every victory and stood by the team in every challenge. This trump belongs to all of us. And let's continue to support and encourage our champions as they bring more glory to the nation. Without further ado, let's dive into today's topic of discussion. And it is my great honor to welcome you to all to 54th SPSR webinar on India, booming market with changing patent trends. This event, organized by Society of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research (SPSR), marks yet another significant milestone in our ongoing journey to advance the pharmacy profession. We are privileged to have Mrs. Divya Dubey, a distinguished patent attorney from Deep Panning and Deep Panning Company, New Delhi, India, as our esteemed speaker for this event. With her extensive expertise in the intellectual property law and keen understanding of evolving patent landscape, Mrs. Dubey is exceptionally well suited to shed light on the dynamic market trends in India and their implications for the pharmaceutical industry. The topic of India booming market with the changing patent trends is incredibly pertinent as India continues to emerge as a global hub for pharmaceutical innovation and patent activity. Understanding these trends is crucial for professionals and business looking to navigate the complexities of patent law and capitalize on opportunity within this thriving market. We are delighted to announce that we received 1,600 registrations from more than 13 countries for this webinar, reflecting a global interest in the important subject. As we celebrate our 54th webinar, we acknowledge the tremendous support we received from around the globe. Your continuous feedback and engagement through various platforms have been encouragement and have motivated us to strive for excellence in every event we do. SPSR is committed to enhance the pharmacy profession through education, collaboration, and innovation. Your attendance at today's webinar demonstrate your dedication to advancing professional development and achieving the excellence. This year alone, SPSR webinars are set to reach 50,000 registration, a remarkable achievement made possible by the collective efforts of our dedicated team and support from our audience. We are also grateful to our audience who regularly attend our webinars on Sundays. Your engagement is a positive feedback and encourages us to continually improve and deliver valuable content to all of you. SPSR is committed to make every effort to ensure that our webinars provide the best possible experience and insights to our audience. Extending a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Shashi Alok, the esteemed National President of SPSR, is a great honor for all of us. His visionary leadership has played a pivotal role in driving a significant transformation within the SPSR. Established it is a symbol of excellence in the pharmaceutical sciences. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation for invaluable contribution for Dr. Pradeep Golani, the co-convener of this webinar, and organizing committee members, Dr. Sanjay Nagdev, Dr. Padmani Shukla, Dr. Payal Mitra, Mrs. Swati Jain, Dr. Saurabh Kose, Mr. Ankur Agarwal, and Mr. Junaid Tantre, for their tireless efforts, have played a crucial role in transforming the vision of this event into a reality. Behind the scenes, a remarkable team has been a foundation of seamless organization of every webinar. Their dedication and pursuit of excellence have been instrumental in event's success. I want you to express my sincere gratitude to each SPSR team member for their meticulous focus and their enthusiasm, which have brought this webinar alive. I want to express my heartfelt thanks to all of you for actively taking part and making valuable contribution. Your involvement drives a shared quest of excellence in the pharmaceutical field. I believe that today's conversation will be enlightening and motivational, shaping our professional journey in a remarkable way. Once again, I extend my sincere gratitude to each one of you for being integral part of 54th SPSR webinar on India booming market with changing patent trends. Your active participation and engagement are invaluable contribution to our collective pursuit of knowledge and progress in the field of pharmaceutical sciences. Keep up with the latest in the innovation with the SPSR. By subscribing to our YouTube channel, you gain excessive entry to the upcoming webinars, expert viewpoints, and cut edge research in the pharmaceutical sciences. Become part of our vibrant community of learners and participate actively in stimulating conversation that will shape the future of healthcare and pharmaceutical sciences. Stay informed with the latest update. Subscribe to our SPSR YouTube channel and enable the notification bell icon for instant alerts. Join us on this journey of discovery and innovation as we continue to advance the pharmaceutical sciences for the betterment of the society. Thank you for joining us today. Let us start this enlightening journey together as we delve into the evolving patent trend in India with Mrs. Divya Dubey. Over to you, Dr. Pradeep Gulani.
Thank you, Mrs. Monika Sabharwal, for allowing me to conduct this webinar. And now let's begin with the brief introduction of guest profile. Mrs. Divya Dubey brings a wealth of experience in the field of intellectual property law and the pharmaceutical industry, specializing in the registration and export of nutritional supplements and generic medicines across various countries. She holds a master's in pharmacy with a specialization in pharmacology and is both a pharmacist and a lawyer. Additionally, she is distinguished recipient of the prestigious WOSC scholarship from the Government of India. As a registered Indian patent agent, Mrs. Divya Dubey excels in searching, drafting, and prosecuting patent applications across diverse technological domains. Her expertise lies primarily in life sciences, but she also adeptly handles designs and copyrights. With a keen ability to draft detailed specifications, she excels in understanding and defining patentable subject matter and the scope of various inventions while remaining vigilant about the evolving laws in different jurisdictions. Mrs. Divya Dubey has successfully drafted numerous patent applications, including both provisional and non-provisional types for various life science domains. She has assisted research bodies and companies in transforming their R&D outputs into robust patent applications. Her proficiency extends to international patent laws, enabling her to assist clients in patent searching and prosecution before major patent offices worldwide. She is well-versed in using various intellectual property databases such as STN for both Markov and formulation-related researches, Thomson Innovation, Orbit, and Total Patents. Mrs. Divya offers expert opinion on patentability, freedom to operate, invalidity, and infringement analysis, and manages patent portfolios for esteemed clients. She also handles regulatory approvals under the Biological Diversity Act of India and the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. Mrs. Divya Dubey is an active participant in the IP and life science communities. She is a regular guest at various domestic intellectual property forums and numerous life science forums and companies, where she shares her insights on patent in the pharmaceutical and life science sectors. Additionally, she is a member of the Asian Patent Attorneys Association, which further underscores her commitment to staying engaged with the latest development in the field. Her contributions to the field of intellectual property have been instrumental in shaping strategic IP portfolios for companies, ensuring that their innovations are well protected and positioned for commercial success. Mrs. Divya's in-depth knowledge of patent law and regulatory frameworks across different jurisdictions has made her a valuable advisor to clients seeking to navigate complex IP landscapes. Beyond her professional achievements, Mrs. Divya Dubey is also dedicated to mentoring the next generation of IP professionals. She frequently conducts workshops and training sessions for aspiring patent agents and attorneys, sharing her expertise and fostering a culture of excellence in the field. Her dedication to continuous learning and development is reflected in her active participation in various professional associations and conferences where she stays abreast of the latest trends and advancement in the intellectual property law. In addition to her professional endeavors, Mrs. Divya Dubey is also committed to promoting awareness about the importance of intellectual property rights. She collaborates with academic institutions and industry bodies to organize awareness programs and seminars aiming to educate inventors, researchers, and entrepreneurs about the benefits and intricacies of IP protection. Her efforts have significantly contributed to enhancing and understanding the appreciation of IP rights within the broad community. Mrs. Divya Dubey, multifaceted expertise and her unwavering commitment to the field of intellectual property make her a highly respected and influential figure in both the legal and pharmaceutical industries. Her ability to seamlessly integrate legal acumen with scientific knowledge has enabled her to provide comprehensive and strategic IP solutions that drive innovation and support business growth. It brings us immense joy and pride to share that we have garnered the participation of over 1,600 registered attendees from across the globe, representing a diverse area of countries. Among them, we have a significant presence from India, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, Ghana, Indonesia, Iraq, Nigeria, Pakistan, Russia, Singapore, Syria, Thailand, Tunisia, and UK. The overwhelming response from such a wide-reaching and varied audience is truly humbling. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every participant for choosing to be a part of this significant event. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's make this webinar an insightful and enriching experience for everyone involved. We have our esteemed keynote speaker, Mrs. Divya Dubey, with us. Welcome, ma'am. Kindly, I request you to share your PowerPoint presentation and talk.
Thank you so much, Dr. Golani, for that lovely introduction which you gave me. Before I go into the presentation, I would like to thank Dr. Golani, Ms. Monika Sabharwal, and Dr. Shashi Alo, including the complete members of SSPR for this wonderful journey which they have curated in this small tenure and great so much of public information passing on to people and students. I remember like when I was a child, such sort of information was a difficult thing to do. I think I'm very sure all the team members at SSPR has understood this and have come up with this forum, which is a remarkable place to be. I think it's a remarkable place to grow, to learn in a short span of time because it's difficult for you to gather information from various fields. So I think it's a pivotal role and a remarkable contribution to the society. You know, after a particular age, when you have like learned a lot at your end, it's time for you to pay back. And I think the society is doing a remarkable job in giving it back to the society, and I wish and I pray them the God's choicest blessings in being able to have their network round the globe at much more deeper levels and much more bigger followers to have. With this, I would like to go into the details of the presentation, which we are going to discuss today. It is generally, as we all know, about India in comparison to the countries around. I have taken this topic to give you a brief idea how IP is important in terms of the global market with India in the scenario, and how it is going to impact your research when we are talking about IPR. As Dr. Galani has got, I have a little experience in the field, and I hope I would be able to provide you a boundary line or places where you can look and think to develop either your skill set in terms of whether you are a student or you are a professional or you are an industrialist or a research scholar or somebody thinking to come into the field of IP. So the topic is India, a booming market with changing patent trends. I hope the PPT is clearly visible. Do I need to zoom in? It's okay, right? Dr. Gulani, is
Yes,
the PPT?
ma'am.
It's fine.
Right, ma'am, it's visible, but we can make it full screen, sir. Full screen.
Fair, is that okay?
Right, ma'am. Now it's full.
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, I'll just briefly take you through the borderlines to the presentation. I'll give you a brief introduction of why and what of it. Then I'll take you to the patent filing statistics generally in terms of India and the global market. How is it changing and how it is going to impact India in terms of its place in the global economy. We will discuss about briefly about the changing technological domains about which are causing the growth and the challenges which are still there. What are the ways in which we can try to accommodate or change these challenges? So the first question is, why am I saying India as a booming market? Although I do agree with a lot of people around it, India has a growing GDP with the latest update on it. By the year 2029, it is expected that India would be a 6,000 billion US dollars economy. You all agree and would understand with the huge population of India, as well as the more of the young professionals in India, it has become the point of interest for everyone around the globe. And we all from the pharmacy background would agree that India is the pharmacy of the world, right? With close competition with China, I think we do a remarkable job. And not only that, the IP regime of India has played a pivotal role in making the pharmaceutical society the pharmacy or the important point in the IPR regime and the pharmacy or the supply of medicines to the world. And this has been very remarkably brought out with the way India has played its role in the COVID-19 with PV providing vaccines to so many countries, with Modi, the government taking up so much of strong stance with regard to the big bosses of the country like the US and the Europe, which basically most of the decide the how the policies run. So with everybody's and the complete globe's eye on India as a booming economy and the GDP changing and the population and the diversity in the country, it is the market to work. I would also like to put my personal comment onto this that India is the place to be in case you want to grow both in any form, in either in business or generally, it is the place to be. So, with this growing GDP, with the latest World Bank report, it has been said that the pharmaceutical sector is playing a pivotal role in the GDP of India and in generally. And the pharmaceuticals sector is expected to grow at a dollar of 372 billion, wherein the market medical device market specifically would be in a dollar 25 billions. This contribution to the GDP is a huge contribution is coming from the manufacturing, a large number of manufacturing units of pharmacy over here in India, as we all know, coming from the pharmaceutical background, that Indian pharmaceutical market is the most important contributor, and it's a big lobby which affects a lot of decision, not only in India but as a global market too. So this manufacturing sector has been understood to be contributing to 15% to India's GDP growth, and it generates about 12% of the Indian workforce, right? And so this says that it is important. We also realize that the amount of population which is now using internet in India is generally really high, right? So this says that over the time people are getting more and more updated about it, and there is a more need for science and knowledge and education to get more online rather than any. It's just not you going to school or colleges to study. It's more of the study you do online, right? Luckily, I remember, Dr. Jaishankar quoting this in one of his conversation when he went to the US with his son. And when they were here in India, they said everything happens to Paytm. It's as simple as that. Most of the countries still do not have that. However, in India, I think everybody around It's very easy for all of us to get into do Paytms and things like that. So all of these, changing technologies in India have a lot of things with the IPR in India, the population in India. So they have like important roles to play. They all work down together to create a network which is making up India's GDP grow and make India the growing economy, the booming economy. Right. With this, I'll take you briefly through why, I would also like to point to you that this growing economy now has to be supported by intellectual property. Because with this growing economy and the young professionals, there'll be more of people who get like research work and do a lot of new products. And they have to be protected so that nobody takes it away from them. Right. So it's very important that India as an economy and the young professionals around, both in the field of research or the industry or in general, understand intellectual property rights so that they have a robust protection from all domains which is possible. Right. And they are equally rewarded for the effort that gets into it. And not only are they protected in the Indian market, but as they move out. And this plays an important role, or brings in the reason why intellectual property is important, why one should, whenever they are studying or doing a business or anything, should focus on the intellectual property and should set aside some budget to understand the intellectual property and make the firm more research oriented, or the company, at least not only in terms of patents, but in terms of trademarks, copyrights, designs, any of there are so many of them, right? And I hope that as we go through the slides, you will understand how important it is, not only for the revenue generation as a brand management. So intellectual property is not only about patents and research, but there are a number of other domains to it which should be equally understood and applied in the domains. So to give you a brief, I would like to say that we started slow in the year 2005 with re-signing the WTR. And then we moved on forward slowly with small steps from a process-related patent regime where only processes were granted to a product-related regime. And there we are going at high speed, where the amount of IPR filings have increased in a huge amount, right? Not only did the filings increase, I understand that initially there was a lot of complaints about India. There are filings, but the grant happens too late. The 20-year period is almost, passed. But with the latest efforts of the Modi government, Mr. Piyush Goyal, the Controller General of India, Dr. Unnat Pandit, the grants of patent has been reached a remarkable height. Right, most of the matters have been cleared. There has been a leap in the amount of filing because people do understand that it is the emerging market. Not only there is a change in the amount of time that it is going to take, but the registration as well as the disposal of the application has grown significantly. And this can be seen easily from this slide, which gives you a graph of what has been done. From the year 2018 to 2023, you will see patent has gone gone a great height from 5,000 to 82,000, 50,000 to 82,000, which was a big leap. And I'll bring you to the 2024 results in the coming slides, and you'll be shocked to see the results. Right, the design applications have grown from 12,000 to 22,000. The other applications have also grown. Not only important thing is to remember, see over here, that we also not only do we have the patents, designs, trademark, geographical indication, and copyrights under the IP umbrella, there is a semiconductor integrated layout design, which is also a point of protection. We initially started with a couple of years with no filing into the semiconductor area because it's a very niche, fast-growing, fast-changing domain of the technology domain. But over there, the number is gaining up from 5 to 23, right? So the amount of filings have basically increased, even if you look at the design trends also. And this trend has been put down also not only to tell you that the amount of filing has gone important, but how important the world considers, for you to have a Chanel bottle or to have a Coke bottle. So the bottle, the shape, the look are important. right? And they become your brand names. So there are a lot of slight nuances when you are developing a product or launching a product, moving your business, that you need to have keep a watch on these things, which is reflected by the various industry players, and which can be easily reflected by this changing trends from something which was filed as 12,000 to 22,000. And not only is that the filing has grown up, the patent office has also, the design registry has also tried has to dispose of equally high number of applications, so that they can be registered and move forward. As I spoke earlier, the 2024 has been a robust achievement for India, where almost 41,000 patents were granted. With the expedited examination, with the way the complete overhauling of the system has been done, it is remarkable. If you see, it was around 4,000 in 2013, 2014, and it is 41,000 around in the year 23-24, and there's no looking back. Obviously, now this growth in filing of the applications has a pivotal role to play even in the revenue that is being generated. Obviously, where does this revenue come to? Obviously, it is for the Indian market. So not this, the complete IPR has a pivotal role to play in booming up the economy more further, and takes it a far more leaps and bounds ahead in terms of what is being generated, which is a great circle, so that more innovations are brought into markets. So how was these remarkable numbers achieved over the years? Obviously, it was not a, a one night thing. Sorry, it was not a one night thing, right? It was days and days of hard work, and it was years of strategic thought processes by the eminent people of the in the domain, which has led you to these wonderful figures to show, and these beautiful graphs of steep high end curves to have a look at. So what was it? What has changed in the way the working of the Indian intellectual property system? The first thing which I would like to point out is it's become more timely, it's transparent, the services are there. There are expedited ways available to fast track your applications. The older applications have been disposed of. One of the important things they have created is because what you understand from when you talk about patents, there are a number of technical domains, right? Each one of you and me, may or may not be capable enough to handle a different type of domain, maybe an IoT of things, the most trendiest technological domain of the IoT things. Maybe I, coming from a pharmacy background, may not be capable of understanding and delivering. So one of the major glitch which was available with the patent office was the amount of expertised professionals in the domain to address these type of applications which have been created. So now they have hired more people which are more expertise, mostly the PhD doctors in the specific domains to address and examine the applications which have come down to the Indian Patent Office. Not only that, they have created a centralized team which classifies the application based on the classes and the relevant field, so that the right application goes to the right examiner, and it does not go like a physics person getting a chemistry person, as layman as I could put it, right? They even have, as you would understand, the patent regime is also very particular about two important things. Anything related to atomic energy is not to be got out of the country, and the DRDO applications for defense purposes. So any invention directing to atomic energy and defense purposes, which are important for the safeguard of the country, are generally scrutinized before they come out into the public domain. So earlier, any of the application which was even far related to such domains, technological domains, would actually be held for years, because there was nobody to review it, whether it was from the subject domain or not. So they have created an internal review committee. So the disposal of such applications, whether they are allowed to be gone into the patent application rule, or they would not be allowed to move for security reasons of the country, is become much more expeditious over the time. The other important concern with is the NBA approvals, National Biodiversity Act approvals. Have been started. Now, what is National Biodiversity Act and its importance in the IPR regime? So we all know that India is very, very rich in their understanding of Ayurveda and herbal things, right? With this in mind, and with a lot of other cases which I all would have been aware about, the basmati case and the turmeric case, where people would have not even modified anything from different countries and have trying to take a patent over it. Obviously, patent is a negative monopoly for 20 years, which means you would not allow anybody else to use it. So if another country or another person has this, you would not be used. So that was a talk in the long back. Not only that, but now that from that particular topic of concern, we've moved a way forward where we want to actually, acknowledge that this particular Ayurvedic or herbal component or a biological material has been obtained from India. We want that to be brought into the knowledge of the world in general, that the basic source is coming from India and we don't want it to be neglected or given away. With that thought process in mind, the IPR regime in India has an NBA approval, which is that you will have to tell that your invention uses a biological material first. Then you have to tell where are you getting the biological material. And apart from that, in case you are using a biological material from India, right, which is used in your invention, you are supposed to take an NBA approval. Now, there was a slight glitch over here in the way this process was happening because a huge amount of time and delay was available at the NBA approvals from the National Biodiversity Office. So, with the changing scenarios and the things, this has been brought down, it has been automated, it's online available, and the approvals are going fast. Not only have these initiatives, there have been a lot of awareness being created for the growth and protection of the IPRs in India, so that both the individual and the business people get the knowledge of what IP is. Most of the time, IP is just understood to be patents, but it's not so. It does include, as I stated in the starting of the applications, at the starting of my presentation, that it is not just about patents, it's about trademarks, designs, GI, copyrights, integrated circuits, and it's a huge umbrella. It's not just by patents. So one need to go far beyond just the research thing. You can, it's so important that I may not be a researcher and I may be just a business person, but I need to have my brand name and trademark protected, so that when I develop my name over years of my hard work, it does not get lost. So the government has decided and have over the time in the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, initiated a program called the NEPAM, which is the National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, wherein they have tried to get into the deepest of the interiors of the country and colleges and institutions, where they have delivered lectures, not only to colleges, institution, police people, all you can so that the kind of community or the society in general have an awareness about what intellectual property is. It should not become a niche which people don't understand, right? And why was this important? This was important because it's not always that a research is to be conducted in a lab. It's my acumen to solve a problem that would help me to create a patent or an innovative product. So if I'm not even aware about my rights, right, then I will not even go over there. And maybe like the special word which we use as the jugaad patents or a lot of things like that around, I can easily make anybody, make a product, but maybe it's easily copied and I cannot benefit from the intellect I have put into it, right? With that thought process in mind, the NEPAM has been working tremendously along with the TIFAC and many other government organizations in disseminating the information which about intellectual property around India at a high speed. I can't even put in numbers It's like every weekend, every day, somewhere in the country, somebody is giving a lecture on IP so that people know, so that when you hit the base, it grows over the time. It's not that, as in I said, it's not a one night job or a one day job. It happens over the time, and your basic growing population need to know and understand it for you to make a booming part of it. So this, a huge number of conducting IP portals are available on the website. You can ask for awareness program to be conducted in your place through the IP offices. Along with that, there have been an open conference to address the grievances of the people who are working with the IP offices. This initially started on a weekly basis. It keeps on changing. We're depending on availability. It has been a superb way to address a huge amount of grievances which people were having with the CGPTDM. They've also launched an IPO grievance portal wherein any concern can be updated and would be addressed generally. My personal experience into this open conference and the IP grievance is that it's generally done in 2 to 3 days, which is remarkable for any of the government office to be performing. Along with that, with this sort of awareness programs and initiatives taken by the Indian government, huge number of filings is being done across India. The people have become more aware about it. And one of the biggest filers for the year 2023 was Tamil Nadu. A large number of universities, with the efforts of Niti Aayog and everybody, have even come up with this have us trying to push as well as create the environment for research which is more IP oriented. It's not only a research being done to have a PhD degree, but it's a research done to develop develop the economy and make life of the people around. So, as base, when we always call it that these are universities and colleges are the breeding grounds of tomorrow's industry, right? With these, a huge number of countries, applicants from India have been doing a remarkable job, and little steps being taken forward to increase, because once we increase the number of filings slowly and slowly, we understand what it is and how we go take forward. Lovely professional university, the Jains, the TCS, a huge number of them, they were the top applicants filing in the domain of information technology. A large number of other applicants, like in institutes and universities, which have been filing, and their numbers have been put down on your screen to give you a brief idea. The amount of effort which is going down by each of the universities at their level to increase the number of filings that can go ahead with it. Right. This remarkably shows what we are going to see next 5 years, right? How the thought process, the mindset is going to change in terms of understanding the IP domains. Although these are values only for the patents, but I'm very sure with the awareness programs being conducted in all domains, with the understanding of IP as a bigger umbrella is something which we are moving forward to. It is not that I remember there was this one case law which happened long back, wherein there was this farmer who picked up Monsanto's seeds and just simply grew it. And then he was called up to the court to say that, why did you pick up a patented product? And he was so innocent. He didn't know that it did exist also. Anything like that existed ever. So I think with these awareness programs, such sort of issues will be addressed. People will be more aware, would do their due diligence before handling things. It's a beautiful road forward. Not only that, are we talking about Indian filing and applications in India? The Indian economy and the people in India are not only restricted to India, but they are moving abroad. It's because as I would like to point out, the patent is basically a jurisdictional right. But so every country you want to actually apply for, you have to apply it separately. So if I want a patent in US and implement my product in US, I'll have to have a US patent. If I want it in Europe, I will have to validate. First, I'll have to get a European patent, and then I'll have to validate in the individual countries. That's how it works, right? It is not that I have a patent in India, it works in the other country. No, it does not work. It does not work that way, right? So the trend has over the time changed a lot with the applicants. Initially, there was a dip in the number of people filing abroad, but with a lot of help around and the awareness going down, the trend is re-increasing. We are trying to take our patented products around the globe and trying to capture the economy to the best possible way. Not only is this happening at the convention level, but it is happening even in the PCT level. So when you want to go take your patent outside India, when you want to take your subject matter or the innovative product to outside India, there are two ways of doing it. One is the conventional way, as the convention route, wherein you go to the individual country, or there is a PCT route wherein you file an application on the PCT and then you get a 31 months time to enter into individual countries. Not only that, it gives you a report on the type of the strength on the novelty, inventive, and industrial applicability of the subject matter of the patent. So this, if you see, the major chunk was the top applicants for PCT national phase application was US over the time. And over the last 5 years, the number of applicants which are filing PCT has also increased in the last 5 years. Now, top foreign resident applicants, like these are the people who have come down to India to do the filing. For quite a number of years, Qualcomm, which is one of the important people who, from the basics of patents, which are into running into our mobile phones, has been a one of the major filers who's not a resident of India, but really believes and understands the economy and the market of India and has been filing tremendously since a number of years, followed by Samsung, Huawei, Apple, Tenaford, Microsoft, Nokia, LG, Beijing, Xiaomi. Sure. PCT international application filed by Indian applicants, right? So if you see this chart, this chart clearly shows you that, the filing of Indians going outside India to take their innovation and innovative products outside India is also increasing, right? So this trend has remarkably increased from in fact going abroad with regard to the product so that they can use the patented products to get a major robust hold in the foreign market. Then applications filed by residents and non-residents through various routes this is a glimpse of what have we been talking about, that the residents of India have initially were not so much aware of the patents in India, but however, this has increased to 43,000 over the time. The non-residents have come down to India in a huge number. Although it still remains that the coming in number of applications are far more than the number of applications going out. The out applications are the residents of India, the non-residents are people who are coming into India. Right. So I hope in the over years, the number of resident applications increases really well. But this is important to know that a lot of people are interested in the Indian market, right? Unless and until you are not interested in the Indian market, you will not file a patent application in India. This huge numbers shows you very clearly that how much of an interest people have in India as an economy to protect and sell their products. Well, even either they are making it over here or they are bringing from outside, whichever way they want to move it. The general filing trends of the international applications by the national residents of India has been shown over here. So one important thing which you all will notice when you do a PCT application filing, you have to select an international search authority. The search authority would be a patent office of any of the country, which could be a USPTO for United States Patent Office. It could be the EPO, the European Patent Office, or any of the other countries. In past, sometimes India became it's been long now, the Indian Patent Office became a search authority, right? And since then, a huge number of people, you can become a search authority only when you have the expertise and the professionals to examine the application of that high standard. So quite happy enough. I'm sharing this that a large of number of people are filing Indian Patent Office as a search authority, which would give them an understanding and guideline, both in terms of what the product of the subject matter of the invention is novel, inventive, or industrial applicability, or there is a concern, they need to change it before making entry into any other country. The top PCT filing by Indian applicants in the year 2022-2023 is TVS, CSIR, Hindustan Petroleum, followed by Telephone Kabi and Indian Institute of Technology, Dr. Reddy's, St. Gobain, MSN Laboratories, NATCO, and Ola Electric Mobility. So people, the change in terms of trends with regards to Indian applicants going out of India has increased, and a lot of people are interested in taking their products. TVS, we all know, is a huge global player of India, which has moved their products not only from India and is well-known brand, trusted brand around the globe. Not with this thesis in mind, if we study the various technologies which are being studied in India, in the IP, could be considered as IT and software, the manufacturing unit, as we just spoke about when I started up the slides in the matter. The pharmaceutical domain, as it's always known, the renewable energy sources, as could be understood. So the blockchain technology, the IoT of things, they are rapidly gaining traction in India, leading to surge in patent filings related to cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, and decentralized applications. Clear energy solutions, the focus on sustainability and clear energy solutions is reflected in increasing number of patents related to renewable energy, energy efficiency, and waste management. The tech trends for biotechnology is the most incoming booming trends where studies can be created. You can create white spaces, a landscape, or get them done by somebody and then make file patent application in the white spaces of biotechnology domain, which is a booming market. This is a sector in India witnessing significant growth, with patents being filed for innovation in genetic engineering, bioinformatics, and biofuel production. If you see the graph next to it, it clearly shows how the trend in the last years till 2023 has remarkably increased in the terms of filing in the field of nanobiotechnology. CRISPR technology revolution gene editing is in the healthcare and agriculture is another most sought out field apart in the biotechnology domain. Bioinformatics, if you see, is another booming domain with changing trends going on the higher side. There have been a lot of land. Not only are these filings important, but a lot of litigation and has gone down in the Indian market with regards to these biotechnological products, specifically bringing into you the Monsanto versus Nibudzu seeds dispute over genetically modified cotton seed plants, wherein and the BT brinjal plants, which were all discussed in various domains, and this has led to change in the way the Indian Patent Office is going to examine the various domains and their impact in the field. The other important domain is an artificial intelligence domain. Artificial intelligence can go into number of things. We can have deep learning, we can have machine learning, we can have supercritical learning. So lot of things, and lot of subcategories of subfields are there. I have given a small view of understanding what is an artificial narrow intelligence and artificial general intelligence. The narrow intelligence will beat Go world champions, but a general intelligence would understand the abstract concepts of it, right? An artificial narrow intelligence would read facial expressions, but general intelligence will explain why those expressions, right? An artificial narrow intelligence will write music, but a general intelligence be creative like children, right? So they will not only, overlay it with different music, mix and mingle the music. That would be the capability of a artificial general intelligence. Artificial narrow intelligence diagnoses a mental disorder, but general intelligence will tell you what is right from wrong. the comfort earthquake survivors. However, general intelligence has the capability of having emotions in it. So what I'm trying to bring down over here, that in artificial intelligence is the one of the go-to fields of trends in patterns. What is more important over here is with regard to how this is being judged in terms of inventive merit, technological advancements, and how it can be integrated into a lot of patent applications, which are there as simple as eye vision, testing of the eye, normal dental testing, and all those things. And it is creating a beautiful changing patent trend of using artificial intelligence and making it more robust, more fast, more real time in terms of what is being available on the public. Another important sector, which is cooling India. Yeah, sounds like good in this hot weather here in Delhi. Cooling India is basically an action plan with the World Bank's report saying that the Earth is already 1.1 degrees warmer than it was in 1800s. So there's an urgent need for emission reduction to limit global warming, right? So a huge number of research is being done in this related to this cooling India, and a lot of research is being going to be aided and moved forward over the years. The objective for the 2738, because India's cooling action plan is reduction of cooling demand across all sectors, reduction of refrigerant demands, reduction of cooling energy requirements. So all of these actually form your white spaces where research can be conducted to come up with products which can help out in addressing this global renewable energy market, and became a niche player or the top first players in this. I have made a small comparison for you with the global patent trends. Here, if you see I've tried to compare India with the major other markets. If you see, initially, the time period for an Indian application to be processed was far less. Was far higher. However, with the changing times and things, the amount of time has reduced down to remarkably less than a year. A number of initiatives and programs with regard to expedited examinations of the patent applications has been brought into place so that the applications are granted in a faster space, and people who were at some point losing hope in terms of the Indian IPR market in India have now still again started vouching. Not only that, you will also notice if you have your application going into multiple countries that people do ask for what the Indian Patent Office has a view on your application or the subject matter for the patent. So this is a very positive and a very moving forward approach which has happened. The statuses of application for this is quite a report from the World Intellectuality Property Indicators from the World Bank, wherein if you see this graph, if you will see, if you look at India, the number of granted application and the withdrawn and abandoned application and the rejected applications compared to the US, where the number of rejections are very high. So this trend has going, it's quite we'll notice that India is very IPR friendly and patent friendly. Obviously, to boast of the changing environments in India, 41,000 patents have been granted in the year 23-24. With this mindset and changing trends have also been reflected by a lot of amendments that have been brought out in the Patent Amendment Rules 2024, which got launched on the 15th of March 2024. And these have also laid down to a further fostering the goal growth, which is already there. So I am slightly going to take you through the changing in policies, which could be of relevance to a lot of people over here. Firstly, the request for examination time. Earlier, there was a 48 months time to file for a request for examination in India. However, it has been now reduced down to 31 months, which is in line with all the other major jurisdictions, right? So there does not go down a delay in the patent applications for longer time. The relaxation which has happened over here with regard to the application is once a patent has been granted in India, one has to tell how it is being commercially worked in India on a prescribed form, which is the Form 27. Earlier, this had to be done every year, annually, now, every financial year. Now, this has been reduced down to once in 3 years. So, which is a huge relaxation for people to inform and keep, because this forms a ground of revocation of your patent. So, updating the patent office of the same is an essential requirement, but now it's not an annual thing, to safeguard people's time and save them from all the cumbersome and financial things which get into it. The government has changed this policy from an annual to a 3 years thing. The other important concern which happens when you are doing a patent filing, especially when you're filing in multiple countries, is the Section 8 requirement as per the Indian Patents Act. The Indian Patents Act Section 8 requires that you update the Indian Patent Office of all the applications that are filed in major different jurisdictions. Now, this has to be filed time and again. Think about a company like Qualcomm or any of the other major who have filed in, say, 90 countries or 100 countries, in getting those data, collating all that information and providing it to the patent office was crazy amount of work. So with this third process, the patent office has now got away with it. And now you have to do it only 3 times. One, 6 months from the point of filing, then 3 months from the FER times, or 2 months whenever a communication from the patent office is required. So that frequency earlier was like 6 months every year and is reduced down to a 3 times only in the complete tenure of the patent. So this is a remarkable welcoming effect. There had been a lot of hue and cry about it over the last decade over it. We had the Chemtura case, wherein a patent was revoked basically on the grounds that the applicant did not inform the patent office about the details of the counterpart applications. However, things have changed. The Chemtura case was revised, and now we have the revised amended rules, which makes life very simpler for the far simpler and accommodating, and making the Indian regime more patent friendly and IPR friendly for all those who are trying to get into the umbrella. Apart from that, there has been explicit statements with regard to the divisional applications being filed. To give you a brief on what the divisional application is, it is basically to divide the application into 2 parts when you think that your application has 2 different inventions. But earlier it was required that it was only possible when the claims had 2 different inventions. But however, with the change amendments, this can be done even if the specification has 2 different inventions, and over the course of examination, you realize that there are 2 different inventions and you want to separate them into 2 different patent applications. The important thing, which I believe a lot of research scholars and the academicians over here would like to know about, the grace period for anticipation by public display or publications. Earlier, what has to happen, as in generally what I have faced based on my market understanding and the day-to-day practice, is earlier, a lot of researchers, they were always in a hurry to get their application published in a good research paper or research article in a good journal, right? So they would go ahead and do the journal publication before doing before the patent actually got in. So that would have resulted in they losing the patent, right? Because one of the important and the first criteria for novelty is absolute novelty, which means nowhere in the world is supposed to know that invention prior to it was filed in India. Right. So that was creating a lot of problem, and a lot of people would lose their patent rights because it was not, they did not understand how the regime worked, and maybe they had just given they've written the paper, but given it for review, and they could not keep a track of the patent gets filed before the paper gets published. So this has been now addressed, although it was already there, but the clarity in terms of it was not there. So now you have a grace period of 1 year, which can be done on a prescribed Form 31. of an unintentional disclosed which has happened, maybe at a learned society or a research paper or something like that, and you have 1 year's time to file the patent. Another important thing which the pharmaceutical domain people will more understand are the oppositions. So the Indian thing has two types of oppositions which is happening, which is called the pre-grant oppositions, which is before the grant, and post-grant opposition, which are after the grant. They are generally referred to as third-party observations in the other domains or the other jurisdictions of India. What happens in these is that when a pre-grant opposition, anybody who thinks that the patent being asked for is not relevant or is does not, uh, qualify to the three criterias, important criterias, then they can file a representation and the case can be taken up. So what was happening generally in this scenario, a lot of frivolous applications were being filed in the domain of patent farms, in the domain of pharmaceuticals, because every pharmaceutical drug which is being patented had its own importance in terms of the type of people that would need it, the type of patients that would need it, or maybe because a pharmaceutical drug can always be reverse engineered and checked out on. So a lot of people wanted to get into it, provided the patent is off. So a lot of people wanted that patents do not come down to it. But such was not the case happening, right? So it was required that this opposition thing, because then if the opposition is there, if somebody has filed an opposition, the application would not move for grant. So it was very much required that that a system is created wherein any frivolous applications or a malified intent application for stopping the patent from grant by means of a pre-grant opposition is delayed. So now the pre-grant opposition procedure in India has become far more robust in that first the controller himself, along with the board if required in case of a post-grant, would determine prima facie if the case is relevant or not. If the opponent or the third party who is saying that this application should not move to grant, has really made a valid point. That part was not there earlier. Now, so what was happening was everybody filed opposition application, whether it was relevant or not, and then they were moving it ahead. So in this present case, with the amendment rules, this has changed drastically over the time. And this is a more welcoming opportunity and step, but most welcoming step taken for all the applicants who are in the domain of patent filing and in the research, because the timelines for this has been also specified. So earlier, like something which was held for years to go are now supposed to be expedited in a month or so. The other important point, which was the certificate of inventorship, which is a requirement for a lot of research scholars. How does the patents work? Let me make it very clear for certain people who have not worked into the patents field. Like say there is a researcher, right, who has developed an invention. Now, if you worked it with the university, generally the university has their IP laws in place. The companies have their IP laws in place. So the owner of the IP is the company or the university, right? So you may just write in your resume that, I have done this invention, but it's a lot of internal thing which a person will look into it to understand that you were one of the inventors in the patent application which has gone out or has a product or is the patent pool for a particular product. So it was important for people who have worked for the invention to have recognition. With that thought process at mind, the certificate of inventorship has been brought into mind, wherein not only can you request for an inventorship certificate for patents which are in the prosecution state, but for which are in force also. And you can ask for a duplicate certificate which will have your name. So it will enable inventors to duly identify with their inventions. I think that is a remarkable thing which has opened out with the thing. The other challenges and opportunities with the Indian patent system or generally patents which in India need to be catered to are the piracy and the counterfeiting, which we all know is being tried to be worked off and being understood as to so that because pharmaceutical products can be easily reverse engineered, and a lot of oral products in a very low standard can be even made out in a small area, right? Which may be a counterfeit or a pirated product. So that is something which too has to be addressed over the time. The patent infringement strategies and IP protection and enforcement has over the time gone really high. Not only that, in the Indian market, the Delhi High Court, all the three high courts now have an IPD division, which is an intellectual property division, wherein all the IP related cases are taken up at a priority basis. Because this was earlier, that was not the case. So IP related cases used to really be pending for ages to go. Now you can have like a faster. You can go to these IPD divisions, ask for a faster. They generally move faster. They have been recently created to hear the IP related matter in a faster process. So in the not only have it gone faster, but even the amount of remuneration being given for any sort of infringement is also gone high. Initially, the cost for infringement and things were not that good, but now the balance of fees has been taken in account. When these case laws or suits happen, then generally the court or the judge asks you to provide the cost balance sheet to understand the amount of losses that are being created due to the infringement suit. Because the moment the infringement suit is there, you may ask the person to stop, right? The manufacturing or sell or things like that. So what is the loss that is being created? And they have tried to compensate that based on the balance of records. Earlier, that was not the case. It was generally considered that in countries like US and Europe, the loss is actually dealt with and provided. However, with the changing case laws and trends in India, the amounts have really gone high, and India is trying to provide the best compensation possible for based on the cost sheet being submitted in the case. I hope these strategies will make it more important, more robust patent system in India and the IPR system in India. I hope I am able to give you a slight glimpse into the domain, give you a brief on how it works, what all can be looked into, the type of fields you want to work into, or consider things which you are doing your business on. I am open to take up any questions in regard to this. I hope I am able to give my small contribution, what the society has to offer in imparting knowledge to the pharmaceutical sciences field and the people around. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mrs. Divya Dubey, for delivering a wonderful session on India, a booming market with changing patent trends. You started this session showing a growing GDP of India and changing filing statistics of patents. You also discussed on the patent trends of different types of patents, designs, trademarks, geographical indicators, copyrights, etc. You explained that what good initiatives have been taken by the patent offices for providing timely and transparent patent services. You discussed in detail about the enhancing IP awareness for growth and protection by IP offices, namely NIPAM, National IP Awareness Mission. You also shown us the trend of top 10 Indian applicants for patent from academic institutes and universities. You shown us the number of patent applications filed by the foreign resident companies in India and trends of international applications filed by the national residents of India. You also explained the emerging technologies in Indian patents in different domains like IT and software, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, and renewable energy. You told us that how the government of India has worked out and reduced the time of filing and grant of patents. At last, you discussed about the challenges and opportunities in Indian patents. Thank you so much, ma'am, for educating all of us about the Indian patents. And now there are some questions from the participants. I'll be asking you one by one. The first one is, ma'am, how is the Indian government supporting the startups and SMEs in protecting their intellectual property?
Thank you, Dr. Golani, for this wonderful question. I think that was something which was missed in my PPTs, right? And I think the people would love to know that. Yep. So, as I spoke about, the IP awareness programs are being created so that, people at all level, and this includes the SMEs, this includes the smaller industries, they have not only are trying to create awareness, either they may approach you, or if you want your people to be educated, you may approach the IP office and say that you need a webinar or some education with regard to how the intellectual property right happens, and how to foster it in your own domain. Apart from that, the other initiative which they have taken is, all these MSMEs have small coagulations in the different domains and circles around India, right? These also keep on organizing small events, which could be like a high tea or something of a couple of hours, like a 1 or 2 hours, wherein sessions are created, uh, you know, uh, on IP awareness and how it works about, wherein people from different domains, not only from the particular field where the MSME is, maybe it could be pharmaceuticals, it maybe it could be the jute industry or the handloom industry or any of that, the people from that particular, whichever MSME is catering to it, right? Whichever council for the MSMEs is creating, they'll have this meeting over there wherein people from both the domains, the law domain handling these, the attorneys of this, and the people from the industry, along with at the government people who are supposed to actually create that smooth interaction between the two different fields, is available. You can always go there, visit, drop your card over there so that people can connect with you. You can go and have those meetings. Would give you an insight of how to look into it. You may connect with people. They even help you in terms of the financials, maybe find you people who are able to give you things which are within your pocket. So I think that is the way to go for any MSMEs or small industries. These councils are doing a remarkable job in providing the IP information, and not only information, but even in moving it and making it go through
Right.
it. That is what they are helping. So I think that's the way to go.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think your answer is very much clear. And the next one is, ma'am, what are the challenges faced by the foreign companies in obtaining patents in India?
Right, a huge number of challenges whenever you a huge number of challenges whenever you get into a foreign country, right? And I totally acknowledge it and understand it. But as when we were going through the slides, and you could, although not said explicitly, but as pointed out, the way, the procedures, the working of it has changed over the time. I remember a decade back, going to these international conferences and my clients saying, oh, we have lost hope whether my application would actually move in India, or how much time would it take? It's been almost 10 years and it has not moved. However, that has changed, right? Now you talk to your international clients, they would be shocked and say, oh my God, it has not moved in US and EP and it's moving in India. Oh, I need to have an update, right? Not only that, in terms of that, the timeline to it, but the quality of it also, right? Now the EP and the US, which were considered to be the standards, prefer to have the Indian report in front of them to understand what has the reasoning gone into it, right? How has the application been processed over here? What is the reasoning provided? So that has played a very great role. The third important change, which is a very positive change, which has happened, which we were talking about, patent enforcement. So earlier, the review was that, although the patent application regime is there in India, but the enforcement does not happen, the courts do not agree, people can copy it. And But with the creation of the IPD division at the various high courts and the expedited movement of these cases with lot of compensations and infringement related orders being passed, India has become much more IP friendly than it was earlier, which has been taken as a very positive move forward by all the foreign applicants coming down to India. So I think that that's the way forward. Yeah. Thank you.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, the next one is, what are some strategies that businesses can adopt to navigate the evolving patent landscape in India?
Okay, now this is this goes really in detail, but I'll briefly take you through the the outlines to how businesses should work. And let's take it because we are in a pharmaceutical society. Start sitting over here, understand the people over here would be more in the pharmaceutical background domain. So, the moment a lot of searching has to go down when you are trying to enter or figure out your way in the IP domain. The one of the important searches which are done, two important searches which are required to be done are a general patent searching and a patent landscape. And the third one is the freedom to operate. So to start with, you have to do a landscape. What is a landscape? It will tell you, means you can take whatever country you want to do, or you can make it general. You can ask an attorney to do over it, or you can first do a basic at your end and then go to an attorney to do it for you. So what you basically do is you decide what field you want to work, right? And then you start searching over it. Once you do a search over it, you will be able to get to patents on what domain are they figuring, right? And then you make an Excel out of it, which is basically a landscape done by a professional. But for you to basically form, then you have an idea of what patents are already there. Once you have researched for say last 10 years, I think a 10-year thing is good. And nowadays so many search engines are like even the basic Google search engine are readily available for free, right? So that is the first step you should take. Do a search in the last 10 years and see what are the places where there are where no invention is being conducted. That is where you start actually, right? So that you do not recreate what is already created, right? And then once you have found that white space, then you maybe go into an attorney to find out what exactly is your understanding going correctly or not. So maybe then you can take a landscape report from them, do your research, come up with a very broad product. Once you've come up with a broad product, then maybe you can check for a patent searching, which will give you a patentability report on the novelty inventive criteria of the invention. Right. So I think that's how you should start on with this. And then Tony can take you through.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. The next one is, ma'am, how can Indian research institutions and universities improve their patenting activities?
Indian research institutes and
universities
can
improve their patenting activity. How they can file the more patents, or how they can work on it?
I would like to put out this in line with my previous answer, right? To increase that activity, I think the first very basic step which any university should start on, especially with, if I say a bachelor's last year student or an MPharm first year student, should understand that, a lot of reading in the domain of research you have to do, right? Reading of patent applications in the domain where you want to do your research is very, very important. And how to read a patent application, because although a patent application is like a huge document with number of pages, but to find out the place where you have to do your invention should not require a detailed reading of that page. So the one of the important things which people should understand is how you're supposed to read these patent applications, where to find these patent application. Once you've developed a reading, you understand what the field is like. Once you understand the field is like, then you can easily understand where you have to do the invention, right? Where your research should go, so that you form a breeding ground or come up with something as a research which can be built over to become the next product for the market. Yep. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. The last one is, ma'am, how can collaboration between Indian and international IP stakeholders be enhanced to foster innovation?
So yeah, India is working dramatically and at very high speed in trying to foster the growth in terms of bilateral relationship. Recently, we came up with this Japan patent office. We had the Indian Patent Office had a thing wherein you could file expedited examinations. Lot of bilateral relationships have been established with the Danish Patent Office, the Eurasian, the USPTO, the Europe, wherein it has been tried to have a lot of meetings with these people and understand what the requirement is, why and where exactly are they looking for, right? Where in the Indian market do they place himself? And so when you look at that part of it, you will be able to understand when you're talking where you can play a role, and then that particular industry can be fostered. So these bilateral relationships and treaties, which are being done in the last time, have increased manyfold. And if somebody looks into those treaties with a careful reading of it, you will be able to understand, like if I want to get into Japan, what are the industries, what are the domains where I want to work. So I think those are very important fields for a collaborative relationship between India and the other countries, which can be fostered through these bilateral treaties which are happening.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all the questions wonderfully and educating all of us. So here we come to the conclusion of the session, ma'am. So in conclusion, as we conclude our 54th SPSR webinar on India, a booming market with changing patent trends, it is evident that India stands at the forefront of the significant transformation in the intellectual property landscape. The dynamic shift in patent trends reflects the country's growing emphasis on innovation, research and development, and robust IP protection. India's booming market presents vast opportunities for business and inventors, supported by an evolving patent regime that fosters and encourages creativity and technological advancements. Our discussions today have underscored the critical role of patents in driving economical growth and enhancing global competitiveness. Patents not only protect inventions but also stimulate investment in innovation, leading to the development of new technologies and industries. The insights shared by our esteemed speaker have illuminated how India's proactive approach to updating its patent policies and practices is creating a more favorable environment for innovation. As India continues to refine its patent framework, it is imperative for stakeholders, including researchers, businesses, legal professionals, and policymakers, to stay informed about these changes. By adapting to the evolving IT landscape, stakeholders can better leverage the potential of Indian market. This adaptation involves understanding new regulations, aligning business strategies with IP policies, and actively participating in the global IP dialogue. Moreover, India's commitment to strengthening its IP infrastructure is set to boost international collaborations and attract foreign investments. Enhanced patent protection and streamlined processes are making India an attractive destination for global R&D initiatives. The growing recognition of India's potential in the global IP arena is also evident from increased patent filings and heightened interest from multinational companies. In closing, today's webinar was provided valuable insights into the shifting patent trends in India and their broader implications. As we move forward, let us continue to engage in meaningful discussions, share knowledge, and collaborate to harness the full potential of India's innovative capabilities. Together, we can drive progress and contribute to a vibrant, innovation-driven economy. Thank you all thank you all, our esteemed speaker and participants, for valuable insights and contributions. We extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Shashi Alok, the National President of SPSR, for gracing us with his esteemed presence today. In acknowledging your dedication and leadership, we express our heartfelt thanks for your invaluable contributions. In extending our deepest gratitude, we express our sincere appreciation to the esteemed speaker, Mrs. Divya Dubey, whose generosity in sharing her profound expertise and invaluable perspectives has enriched our understanding of India, a booming market with changing patent trends. A special acknowledgement is extended to our convener, Mrs. Monika Sabharwal, whose pivotal role in orchestrating this insightful event has been instrumental. We extend our heartfelt thanks to all the participants, recognizing the collective efforts that has effectively pushed the boundaries of knowledge and fostered a spirit of collaborative learning. Together, your contributions have made this webinar a resounding success, and we look forward to continued collaboration in advancing pharmaceutical sciences and research. Thank you for being an integral part of 54th SPSR webinar. Your active participation and contributions have been invaluable, and we look forward to future endeavors and contribute to the continuous betterment of healthcare and well-being for all. Our upcoming 55th SPSR webinar on multiomics approach, a paradigm shift in drug discovery. For webinar registration, see the link at the description box. Thank you once again for your participation. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks from Team SPSR.